Quirrell Quirrell was born before 26 September 1917, somewhere in the British Isles, to at least one magical parent. He also had some Muggle heritage. Quirrell was a young man with a pale white skin. When he was 11, he went to Diagon Alley and acquired his wand from Ollivanders. His wand was made of alder wood with a unicorn hair core. Quirrell attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft in Weasley, where he was sorted into Ravenclaw House. As a student, Quirrell was gifted, but also delicate, teased for his shyness and nerves during his school life. Feeling inadequate and wishing to prove himself, he developed an interest in the dark arts. The feelings of silliness and worthlessness that this billion encouraged embittered the boy, creating a desire to make the world sit up and notice him. He was quite skilled at many subjects, including charms, transfiguration, and magic studies. He also most likely obtained a high-graded UWL and NEWT in magic studies and defense against the dark arts, since not only did he go on to teach both, but was also noted to have had a gift for the theory of defensive magic. After teaching magic studies for some time, he took a year-long break in 1919 in order to gain first-hand experience, though in reality he had taken a grand tour around the world in order to hopefully find whatever remained of Voldemort after his first defeat, partly out of curiosity, partly out of the unrecognized desire for importance from his childhood. At the very least, Quirrell thought that he could be the man who tracked Voldemort down, but at best, might learn skills from Voldemort that would ensure he was never laughed at again. His journey proved successful, as he did indeed find Voldemort, though he was no match for the Dark Lord, and when he realized that Quirrell had a position at Hogwarts, Voldemort used his charisma to manipulate Quirrell to serve him. I met him when I traveled around the world. A foolish young man I was then, full of ridiculous ideas about good and evil. My master showed me how wrong I was. There is no good and evil, there is only power, and those too weak to understand it. Quirrell also adopted a turban for everyday use after this break, claiming to have received it from an African prince as a compensation for disposing a zombie. It was also rumored that he encountered vampires in the Black Forest in Albania, and had a nasty bit of trouble with a hag. Quirrell at some unknown point before 1991 came into possession of Vault 998. In the new vault area of Gringotts Weasley Bank, he kept a small box containing various belongings, a large crate, and a chest containing chocolate frog cards. Quirrell spent his last year of life attempting to gain the Philosopher's Stone for Voldemort, who used his nervous disposition to his advantage, as his perceived lack of confidence had earned very little respect from the students at Hogwarts, and consequently transferred suspicion away from his plan. Quirrell's first plan was created before the school term started, and it involved going to Diagon Alley in an attempt to steal the Philosopher's Stone from Gringotts Weasley Bank for Voldemort. While in the Leaky Cauldron, he met Harry Potter, who had come with Rubeus Hagrid. Quirrell pretended that he was going to buy a new book on vampires. Quirrell was unsuccessful in his attempted robbery, as Rubeus Hagrid had removed the stone from its vault earlier the same day, on Albus Dumbledore's orders. The class everyone had really been looking forward to was Defense Against the Dark Arts, but Quirrell's lesson turned out to be a bit of a joke. His classroom smelled strongly of garlic, which everyone said was to ward off a vampire, and was afraid would be coming back to get him one of these days. After this first failure, Voldemort began to share Quirrell's body to ensure no further failure would happen again, and as Voldemort's face was taken out of the back of his head, Quirrell had to wear a purple turban for the entire school year. Quirrell tried to put up weak resistance on occasion, but Voldemort was far too strong for him to overpower. After this attempted break-in, he returned to Hogwarts to teach as Defense Against the Dark Arts, while another wizard replaced him as Magic Studies professor. It is unknown who these wizards were. The majority of students found Quirrell's lessons to be a joke, as they did not take him seriously as a teacher. On Halloween, Quirrell allowed a troll to enter Hogwarts as a diversion and sneak into the restricted third-floor corridor where the stone was being hidden.
In the dungeon! Turn around in the dungeon! Thought you ought to know.
Severus Snape, who suspected Quirrell, followed him and was beaten on the leg by the three-headed dog Fluffy in the process of trying to hit Quirrell off. Later in the year, during the Quidditch match between Gryffindor and Slytherin, Quirrell made his first attempt at Harry Potter's life. He jinxed Harry's broomstick to try to throw him off, but Severus Snape interfered again with a counter curse. When Hermione Granger tried to figure out who was performing the jinx, she caught Snape releasing the counter curse, but she wrongly thought he was performing the actual curse. She later managed to run to Snape's stand and set fire in his robes in order to distract him and make him stop, but during her hurry, she accidentally knocked Quirrell over, causing him to break the eye contact necessary for performing his spell correctly. After the Quidditch match, Harry witnessed a strong exchange between Snape and Quirrell. I don't know why you wanted to meet here, of all places, Severus. It seemed as though Snape was trying to intimidate Quirrell into handing over information regarding the stone. Harry, Ron, and Hermione believed that Severus Snape was trying to intimidate Quirrell into helping him steal the Philosopher's Stone. Quirrell's abilities in flying was impressive, as Rubeus Hagrid unknowingly described. Can nothing interfere with a broomstick, except powerful dark magic. No kid could do that to Animus 2000. About a week before Harry's exams, Voldemort ordered Quirrell to try to get the stone again. Harry overheard this and mistook the conversation for an argument between Snape and the defense teacher. Throughout the year, Quirrell's body became extremely weak from hosting his master's soul, and in order to keep himself and Voldemort alive, Quirrell began to kill unicorns in the Forbidden Forest and drink their blood. He met Harry, Draco Malfoy, and Fang there, and was about to attack Harry until the centaur rescued the boy. To get past Fluffy, Quirrell disgusted himself and appealed Hagrid into a card game by beating a dragon's egg. During the game, he managed to draw out information about Fluffy by convincing Hagrid that he was a dragon dealer, and as such, shared Hagrid's advices for dangerous pet. Hagrid let slip that playing music for the three-headed dog would put him to sleep. Quirrell then sent a fake letter to Professor Dumbledore, summoning him to the British Ministry of Magic to get him away from the school. He went after the stone, but was followed by Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione Granger, though they believed their enemy to be Severus Snape. Quirrell was able to pass the first 6 chambers that protected the Philosopher's Stone, including the chamber in which he himself put a troll. He reached the final chamber only to find the Mirror of Erised, and was unable to figure out how to take the stone from it, going so far as to consider smashing the mirror. Eventually, Harry alone managed to reach the last chamber, and was surprised to meet Quirrell instead of Snape. Quirrell non-verbally bound Harry and summoned a wall of fire behind the door to prevent him from escaping. Then on Voldemort's command, forced Harry to look into the mirror. Harry saw his reflection with the stone in his own pocket, and felt it, indeed being transferred to his real pocket. When Harry lied about what he saw in the mirror, Quirrell unwrapped his turban to reveal Voldemort's face bound to the back of his head. Quirrell's life ended then, when Voldemort forced him to attempt the murder of Harry Potter. Figuring it out, Harry had the stone, and being unable to persuade him to give it willingly. Unfortunately, the body Quirrell and Voldemort were both sharing manifested in burns and blisters during his fight with Harry. Due to the protective charm Harry's mother left in his skin when she died for him, Harry suffered from the pain in his scar, but Quirrell's body was burned so horribly that Voldemort disposes of his body and left him to die. However, despite being effectively turned into a living Horcrux for the last year of his life, Quirrell did not ultimately lose his soul. To have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will give us some protection forever. It is in your very skin. Quirrell, full of hatred, greed, and ambition, sharing his soul with Voldemort, could not touch you for this reason. It was agony to touch a person marked by something so good. Many people consider Quirrell to be foolish, greedy, worthless, and tend to look down on him. Quirrell had a horrible, vicious side that most people never saw. He was extremely skilled at conniving and manipulation. He eventually became obsessed with only pleasing Voldemort and whatever he orders. Quirrell's fate was well deserved, due to his greed, hatred, and ambitions without any care.